Right, good evening. It is Sunday, the 6th of March. It is 8 p.m. UK time. I'm just going to move over here a little bit. And this is part of my journey, and this is episode 16. I can't quite believe we've got to 16 episodes already. I was sort of looking back at some of the early episodes, and the first one I had was with Double P, who is one of my guests tonight, and with Mr. Musto. And that was going back to I don't know, early part of last year. But anyway, we've made it to 16 episodes, and let's see who we've got today. As I said, there's Double P, and we've also got WeeG. How you doing, guys?
Evening.
You all right, Paul?
Yeah, I'm good.
Nice t-shirt supporting Suckerside. And yeah, we're all doing the promo. So I got my t-shirt on. You've got
wrong side. There we go.
That's the wrong breast. There you go. And you're supporting the 45 Kings with a bright orange t-shirt there. Orange is good. So, Paul, this is, I think, your third. This third time you've been a guest, because we did one with Jim Sharp and Sideshow, didn't we, before?
Yeah.
So that was the second one, and then obviously the third one. And Graham, this is the second one that you've been on. So we thought it'd be good because this is the end of the almost the end. We've got one more DJ after us, which is Jadzia Dex, and we thought it's always good to end the mental health raid awareness weekend with the show, because obviously we can talk about what's been going on, we can talk about mental health issues, we can talk about what's been happening with you guys. And good evening to Adrian, our first guest in the chat. And see where we are. Obviously, you know, Graham, I haven't spoken to you on the show for a little while, so let's sort of go. We spoke the other week about you taking a little trip to Liverpool, and some of the issues you had that weekend, because we're talking about hidden disabilities during the first show when you came on. So tell us a little bit about that. Tell about the weekend, how it went, you know, what you sort of realised about it.
Yeah, well, basically it was a chance to catch up with a pal that I hadn't seen for a very long time. So we knew there was going to be loads of chatting and hanging out, but we'd also sort of planned to go and see Prince Fatty. There was going to be a record dig during the day at the place, etc., and a couple of other things while we were in Liverpool. There was other friends that I did catch up with, but where I caught up with them was not what I'd anticipated. I just found, I thought physically I was doing quite well now that I'd stopped working full time, and I had managed to get a lot more on top of the pain management and also the mental health side. I'll talk a wee bit more about that, obviously. But yeah, I got the train, and getting the train, even just actually once Debbie, my wife, dropped me off, just even trying to get to the train station to then get onto the train, I was in agony by the time I got on the train, and I just not anticipated that would be the case, because I felt good, because we've still up here, we're still in the 21st of March is before we release everything completely pandemic wise, so you know, there's still not been a lot of going out opportunities. So I just got a real fright, and then it transpired that probably helped trigger a flare up that I was already trying to manage. So I ended up in Liverpool the whole weekend, not being able to do anything at all other than stay. And fortunately, this is a saving grace, was we'd not got a hotel, we'd gone Airbnb, and we got an apartment. It was 50 quid a night each, and it was brilliant. 2 bedrooms, whole floor, so it was fine. We could just hunker down and catch up and have a laugh and chat and stuff. So that was great. But yeah, it was a real. And by the end of the weekend, I ended up having to get Debbie to contact the rail services to be able to access the help to get on and off the train and get your luggage on and off the train. And that's not something I've ever had to do. So that was a bit of an eye opener. You know, it realizing I got to that point that I'm having to ask for that amount of help.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah.
That's all right. We'll carry on with that in a second. I'm just going to say thank you for the raid in from Groove the Most. He's just been playing a killer set as part of the mental health raid. So just say welcome to Raiders. If you're new to the channel, hit that follow button. And if you are able to host, then please do so. Hit host on your mobile phone. There's a little square button at the top with an arrow, or go to your chat and go /host space 45 day. We're just talking about some issues that WeeG Graham had on a trip to Liverpool the other day, because you'd gone effectively to a gig. You were going to go out to see Prince Fatty, weren't you?
Yeah, I mean that was one. Obviously, we'd gone to Liverpool because it was sort of halfway for both of us. He lived in London, and it transpired that Prince Fatty's tour was also going to be that weekend with this record dig as well. So Funky Dog's been on 45 Kings.
Yeah, that's right.
So it was Funky Dog that I was hooking up with, and but it was cool. Do you know what I mean? We were totally fine with the fact that we weren't able to do all of that, and that probably made the weekend even better. But it just really, and that's why I contacted you to say, look, I'm definitely coming down at the end of the month, but just a wee heads up that I might need a wee bit more help than I thought I needed. And
and that's good, because you know what we're talking about is an event that we're doing in London at the Star of Kings pub at King's Cross on the 27th of March. We've got a load of DJs, 45 Kings, Queens coming down to play. But yeah, I mean, unless you'd sort of messaged me and said, look, you know, where are the disabled toilets, for example? Is there going to be a hard wooden chair that I can sit on? How far are the decks? Is there any steps? You know, these are things that, you know, although perhaps I should be aware of, you know, until someone says that to you, you don't think about it unless you need those things for yourself. So it's very important to have these discussions.
Oh, absolutely. But that's another thing was, you know, it's, and this sort of enraged me more, was the fact that on the way home, and I won't name any brand names, but I was in a certain pub, and the certain pub had disabled toilets, which I could access no problem at all. However, they were broken.
Right.
So what that then involved was me having to go with a member of staff and walk the whole length of the train station to get a key to then go back to open the disabled toilets. And you're just like, what bit of this are you as a nation not getting?
Yeah. Well, it completely defeats the object, doesn't it? You know, if you're going to have to walk to somewhere else to then come back.
Yeah. But because I'm not swinging a walking stick, and no disrespect to anyone that needs one, right? You know, but you know, I don't have a walking stick. I don't have a wheelchair or anything like that. But I just have real mobility issues, and so do lots of people. And you know, Britain seems to be claiming that we are trying to deal with hidden disabilities when no, we're not. We're ticking the box.
And I mean, how does that affect you? I mean, obviously that's the physical side of things. How does that sort of affect your mental health?
Well, I was great because I'd seen my pal. So, you know, I you know, and the whole weekend we both kept saying, you know, how great this is for our mental health, and thank goodness that, because I probably would not have survived the journey home had I not. And at one point on the Saturday morning, I actually phoned to see how much a taxi was going to be from Liverpool to Glasgow. And I just had to say to the lady at the end, I was just like, I'm so sorry, that's way out of my price range.
Yeah.
Put the phone down. But do you know what I mean? It's just like, But then you've got Premier League footballers who fall over with, someone blows at them, and they've then got, every medical facility known to man available to them.
Yeah. We're just getting some comments in from the chat. Mark Lancaster says, seen it many times. Disabled loos are often locked or broken are the last things mended. And 45 Finch, who works in the hospitality industry, says, sadly, the toilet doesn't make money. It's the one room in a pub that often gets neglected. And
absolutely, Adrian. Absolutely.
Terrible, really.
But it's reality, Criztoz. That's the sad fact.
But I mean, hopefully, talking about it on shows like this, obviously, that we're not suddenly going to get all the disabled toilets fixed in the country. But maybe we can come up with some sort of plan and some sort of way of sort of raising this, because it's clearly a problem. It's not just you. Obviously, we've got other people saying it as well. Okay, we'll come back to it in a bit. Paul, let's move on to you. So, firstly, congratulations. This is now we were talking earlier, the third 3-day mental health raid event sort of put together. That's on top of a couple of individual 1-day ones. So let's talk about that a little bit. So where did the idea first come about to put the event on, and then obviously how has it progressed, and what do you get out of it?
I think we did a couple of single ones, didn't we? And then you and I talked about doing something for the mental health. Or I can't remember. I think I might have come up with the idea. I think it was when did we come up with it? Was it a couple of last year?
I was looking at some of the flyers. I think the first one might have been
2 years ago, was it not?
It's not quite 2 years, I don't think. Because the last one I think was in September. Let me have a look. August, May. So almost a year ago, we did the first one. That was 28th, 29th, 30th of May. Then we did another one, 13th, 14th, 15th of August, and then this is the third 3-day one. So,
I can't remember now. I know that you and I spoke about it, and then I came up with the idea, and then we just thought, right, let's just get a load of DJs together, and we'll combine, coffee and donuts, Ace of Raids, and any other events that we can, and just bring it all together and have a massive long weekend raid train. I think this is the first one where it's actually the raid's not broken, because I've had a couple of DJs pull out. They've let me know a few hours in advance, and luckily the community, has pulled together and jumped in to help out. Unfortunately, Mark said he would help out, but I misread what he said. So. Yeah.
Well, it's like you say, it is a good thing about the community, because people have been able to jump in, and I think everyone, if they're available, is always happy to jump on and DJ and fill in a set or whatever, like you say, just to keep the raid going, because it is quite a big thing. And I organise events like most people here, but I think it's just what goes into it. So talk to us about that. What goes into how did you start setting up the 3-day raid train?
Well, basically we get the times, don't we, from where we're going to start to when we're going to finish. Then we combine coffee and donuts and Ace of Raids, so we've got, I think, 11 hours, isn't it, something like that?
9 or 10 hours.
So you got that there. I don't have to worry about, and then I then start contacting DJs around the world to see if they'll play, and it's a nightmare, man. Different time zones. I didn't even know there was an MST time zone.
A what?
Okay, I think, what's that, mountain?
Mountain summertime. 7 hours each. So I had, you've got BST, you've got Australian time, you've got Eastern, you've got Pacific, you've got Mountain, and I had to combine all that, and it was getting really confusing. But luckily, I put all the Canadian DJs and put them all in together, and luckily they all could play together, which was great. Island Vibes couldn't play, so I got Jordan Russell to play, because I told him that he was going to be playing on the Saturday instead of the Friday. And then come the Friday, I'm thinking, why isn't he on? And he's like, well, because I told him it was Saturday. And I'm like, oh no, this is not right. But it's just, it's just getting the time zones really, and
Yeah.
making sure that people know about a week in advance that they're on this raid train, because people have got busy schedules, and things
Yeah.
are opening back up, and there's probably a possibility that they're going to get a paid gig and they're going to take it, which I completely understand.
Well, that's the difference we've got now, isn't it? Because when we did these last year, there wasn't a lot of real life gigs going on, was there? So when people were stuck at home or in lockdown, or not able to go out and play, so it was a lot more straightforward then. Whereas now people are getting gigs, 1 day in advance or 2 days in advance or whatever, and understandably, you've got to go for the paid gig. This,
definitely. I do exactly the same thing.
Is secondary, isn't it, really? And what sort of people's, how do people take it when you approach them, and you say to them, look, this is for raising awareness of mental health? Do people sort of ask what the charity is? Do people ask what you want to do?
Mike C wanted all the information sent over to him, which was good. So he read up on it and knew it was a really good cause. And obviously, because he's saying he's busy, so he didn't want to commit to something that might be, I don't know, fiction or fact or whatever. So anyway, a lot of them I've asked, they just say, yeah, no problem, and they're more than willing to help out. And if they can't do it, like DJ Father Ramsey from the 45 Bandits, he put me on to ask Cool Frank D. He'll do it, and then he did it for me. So it's everybody. It's bringing a community together, man. And the good thing about it, it's doing something for mental health, and it's also connecting people that aren't connected, that you didn't necessarily know about. You know what I mean? Like Jazzy Deck, she's on after us, and I mean, I've only known her from looking at a few of her sets on Twitch, and then I asked her if she wanted to come in, and she went, "Yeah, of course." So again, you're joining people that you wouldn't know about,
Okay. I mean, obviously, it is about mental health, and we're raising awareness of Calm, campaign against living miserably. There's a QR code there on the screen if you want to donate, or I'll type the link to the chat. I think there's been some contributions overnight. I know that Selector 720 said that he's going to donate some of his raid event, the hype train that he made. I got gifted quite a lot from Ad Vodka, so I'm going to stick that in the charity later this week. But it's been great to have people donate, and it's also about raising awareness of it. Because Paul, I mean, let's talk a little bit about sort of end of last year, because I think you were struggling quite a lot with work. Obviously, don't go into details about employers or anything like that, but you were struggling quite a lot with mental health at that stage. So do you want to talk us about that, how that went, and how things panned out?
Somebody had left, and they were just loading more work onto me, and basically I had a full-on nervous breakdown.
Right.
What
does that entail? If someone hasn't personally had a nervous breakdown, how did that affect you?
What, a nervous breakdown? You just break. You just go into this. I can't describe it really. You recognise something's not right in your head, and I was crying on the phone to my boss saying I can't do it anymore. And how bad is that? That's not me.
I think I would describe it like you feel like you're on the outside looking in.
Yeah.
And you have you are fully aware that there's something majorly wrong.
Yeah.
But you don't know what it is or how to fix it, despite probably numerous people that love you telling you that you're really not well. Yeah, it's very scary.
My wife said to me,
I'm with Paul on this, man. It's
my wife said to me that she said to me, you need to phone the doctor.
Yeah.
And you need to get signed off work because you're not right. So I did. Christmas was all right. I mean, and then the day after Boxing Day, I thought I was having a heart attack. So I had to phone 111.
scary times though.
Yeah,
Really scary.
So it was a panic attack anyway. And I had an ECG Friday, just gone, and so they're saying something's borderline, but my heart rate is fine, but there's something borderline, and I don't. But mind you, I've been under so much stress recently. It's probably got something to do with that, because I get really bad stress. When I'm stressed out, I get so bad pain here, really bad.
And is it? I mean, we're men, and traditionally men don't like to sort of ask for help or even go to doctors, unless things are really bad. So, obviously, with your wife telling you to go to the doctor, is that because you weren't recognizing in yourself that that's something you should be doing?
I was all over the place, mate. I didn't even know what I was doing. And it's terrible. And the thing is, leading up to it, when the job was so stressful, I couldn't sleep. I kept waking up in early hours of the morning. I'd log on because I was worried that I'd fail. I felt a failure because I couldn't do what they were expecting me to do. So it would have a knock-on effect to me. So, yeah, I mean, once I got signed off, and then I was fighting them then because they were going to pay me statutory sick pay, and I went, "No, mate, you put me in this position. You're paying me full pay." Mm-hmm. So I had to fight that as well, which I did, and I got full pay. And then I decided to. I think the day I got signed off work, bearing in mind the state I was in, I had to do an interview, and I got the job.
Yeah.
And I got offered another job, and then I got offered another job, and I'm thinking, okay. But I don't know, really. The job I'm doing now, okay. I've spoken to you about it, and Criztoz about it, saying about how long. And to be honest with you, I don't think a stressful job is for me anymore. I just want to do something simple, like, I don't know, gardening. I don't know. I just don't want it anymore. I just can't be bothered with it. I'm not interested. Not interested.
Well, it's difficult, isn't it? Because if it's affecting your health that much, and getting you to the stage where you're having sort of breakdowns and that, that's not good for you, is it? No. And it's not good for your family either. No. But obviously, I appreciate there's all the pressures of mortgages, life, cost of living, all of these things. So it's although it'd be nice just to walk away from whatever's going on, it's not quite that straightforward, and that must have an impact as well. That must have an impact on your mental health about, what decisions you make going forwards.
I mean, the thing is, I mean, I just can't describe it. I mean, sometimes you think you're better off not here because you won't. I don't know if that's a bit deep, but I've thought about it a few times again. But yeah.
We talked about that a little bit last time, didn't we? When you were on the show, and you mentioned that. And is that something you're speaking to anyone about? Obviously, other than us, are you talking to anyone about that?
Yeah, I'm speaking to. I'm back with my counsellor again.
Okay.
But yeah, I've had times where I just think I'm better off not here, but I won't do it, obviously, because I've got a family and I've got my son and I've got my wife. Yeah. That would never happen. But the thoughts are never far away.
Yeah.
So they're always there, man, and it's like an easy way out, but it's not an easy way out. So,
well, it's important we're talking about this because obviously Calm is part of it is to try and assist in avoiding suicide going forwards, and obviously it's one of the biggest killers of men of a certain age, certainly around the world. But Graham, I saw you sort of nodding along to that. Are these sort of areas and thoughts that sort of you've sort of had to deal with as well?
Oh, I can absolutely relate to every single word that Paul has just said. I got to the point with me that I actually had to go to the mental health hospital, and actually I accept to them that I needed help, and fortunately they have been amazing and have put things in place. So I now have got a mental health nurse who I speak to. I could speak to her whenever I need, but at the moment I've got a regular appointment, with her, and over the last few appointments, the gaps are getting bigger from me needing to speak to her, which
That's
is
good. It's good to hear.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic, but that's all to help me. The next step, which is that I'm on the waiting list for a psychiatrist,
Right.
which is big, and I'm so pleased to hear that Paul is back talking to his counsellor, because I did the counselling thing for a long time, and it is really, really fantastic. But I found that wasn't enough, and things were just kept spiraling to the point that. So I am now on. So all my medication's been changed completely, and I'm now on new medication, which is definitely helping me be a bit more normal, although I hate the word because I don't think it should exist. But yeah, I'm a bit more in tune with what's going on, and the pain medicine is also a bit better. But yeah, having the nurse, just being able to speak to the nurse and just talk to her, and knowing that she also understands the whole medical side of it. So my counsellor was brilliant from just being able to just go. So like where Paul is at the moment, but I'm now a year and a half having left education completely. And I'm at the state that they're telling me that I should not be doing any work at the moment other than DJing, because that's what helps my mental health. Physically, I couldn't do anything really else at the moment anyway to have my surgery. But the point being that speaking to Nicola and being able to identify with her what the GP's prescribing me, etc., in line with what the mental side of it's just a different step up that I wasn't aware of, and I don't know that I would have got until it got to the point that Debbie had to drive me to the hospital. And this is the thing, I'm in Scotland. It's a different health setup. So I don't know, Paul, what it's like for you, but you're on the right road, man. You're on the right road.
Yeah, it's good.
Let's talk a little bit about, obviously you said that you can't work, but obviously you can DJ because that helps your mental health. So in what way does it help? And maybe a silly question, but in what way does it help your mental health? What specifically about
I don't need to think about it. I don't. It just comes. I just feel safe. I'm in my safe place.
Yeah.
I can just lose myself in the music and not think about the pain. So yeah, it's just, and also it's all in this one room.
Yeah.
So I mean I've got my wheelie chair. I can just wheel myself over and grab. And when my mobility is good, I'm up on, and I can. So from that side of thing, it's brilliant, and it's great that I'm getting to DJ again. But that then brings the downside of the whole having to set out from the house and get to the venue, blah 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 blah. So
well, that's that. I mean, the upside of being able to stream is obviously, like you say, you're at home, you've got all your records there. You don't really need to go anywhere. Once you're set up, and it does take time to get to that point where you can just flick a switch and then you're live and you don't have to worry about anything. But once you're there, obviously that's the upside. But yeah, like you say, for someone who hasn't got any of the disabilities or hasn't got any of the issues, it's still, you've got to get to a venue, take your records with you. Some people have to take decks, some people have to take PA, but for you, obviously, that all becomes much harder because of the disabilities and the hidden disabilities.
Yeah, but I'm in a great position that Debbie, is like my roadie. She comes with me and brings her MacBook along and just sits and does her work while I'm DJing. So that's great from that point of view. And I know when I'm going down to London, I've contacted a few people that I know. They know I'm coming down. They're going to see me and they're going to be able to help me out. So that's also great. But it's that whole thing of having to actually open the door and say, yeah, I'm coming down, but I need help.
Yeah.
And Paul probably must feel that now about, Paul, I went through a massive stage of making up excuses for not going to things.
Yeah. I can relate to that.
And I'm sort of past that now, and I'm able to admit to people, no, I can't go because I'm mentally I'm not well, or so yeah, that's a great thing, is being able to do that as well. So
I mean, that's very interesting because Mark's just put a comment in there. Streaming's been a godsend for him. His impairment means it's difficult to get records and kit to venues. Yeah. I don't have to do that anymore. I can do it from my lounge. And I've had discussions with him about events, and I think what you're saying is very true. It must be easier, or maybe it was easier, just to say to people, "Oh, I can't come because I'm doing something else." Rather than being open and saying, my mental health, I'm not in the right place, I'm not in the right frame of mind, it's just not going to work.
Yeah, or physically.
Physically, yeah.
It's going to take me too long to recover, than it's worthwhile the effort me going.
And have you found people have appreciated that honesty now?
Yeah, no, totally. And I think what I found is that I should have been a lot more open a lot sooner. But that's such a difficult thing to do. Again, we're male.
Yeah.
And it's not the British thing to be particularly open, is it?
No. And I think there's two things there that you're saying. Is one, we're British and we don't tend to sort of do that. The second is like you say, you don't want to admit that there's anything wrong, and like Mark Lancaster says, always make excuses to myself and others about not going to things. Done it for years. Action is male. Yeah. Hi, Sam, and welcome to Jadzia Dex is up after us. But yeah, it's important things, and I hope that by having these conversations, that people are starting to be able to talk a little bit more about things. I'm not taking credit for any of that at all. I think I'm just giving it an outlet. But Paul, you were nodding along when Graham was saying about making excuses for not doing things. It sounds like that's something that you've gone through as well. I used to do it quite a lot. I haven't done that in a while now. I've come down to Bristol to see you, Matt, and Lady Malza. Done that, with John, and then I went down to Bristol to see DJ Acer and that do his book launch on my own, which was a massive thing on my own. What else have I done? Did the festival with James and that. Met up with Fat Wax and Danny Banks, Jim Sharp. Sam's had me play at the Mulberry Bar a few times. I've did that on my own.
Nice, good, Paul. That's excellent news, man.
Yeah, I wasn't well the one day, but I went there anyway, and then I felt really tired, and then Sam gave me, I don't know what he gave me, but I think it was an espresso, but it was a triple, and then he left. And I was bouncing off the walls. But,
you're gonna watch out for those triple espressos from Sam Tweaks.
So I've done that. I've arranged my own event with the help of Fade and John Mester with the oh god, what's the place called again? I can't remember now. Oh, I did my first 45 Vibe event.
45 Vibe, yeah, some sort of restaurant, wasn't it?
Oh god,
Mexican restaurant or something.
It wasn't very
That's
well.
old age. Don't worry about that, Paul.
Huh?
That's old age.
It's getting old.
And I've done an open deck thing at the Bell with John. So I don't know if Sam or Mr. Muster are in the chat or Fade, but you know, they really sort of helped me get out and play IRL. So yeah, big ups to them.
And it's part of it that, you know, obviously we talk a lot about you know, shows like this. We talk about the 45 Kings community. We talk about Twitch being a safe space. You know, it is part of it because you know that you've gone to play with or for other people that are friends of yours. You know, and that you know it's going to be a safe space, and you know, whatever happens.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I wouldn't have. Yeah. If somebody from, I don't know, somewhere else said, "Oh, do you want to come up and play la la la?" I'll be like, "Not really, because I don't know you." But because it was Sam and obviously Fade and John helped me do the event, and then John was with me. We went together to Swindon, and you know, I think not having somebody, I wouldn't say hold your hand, but I think it's
it's the equivalent of that, though, isn't it? You know, you are going, and you know that when you get there, you're going to have friends. You know, know that, you know, even if, say, you know, I assume like most DJs, you get anxious. I still get nervous if I'm going to play somewhere I've never played before. Yeah. You're just like, okay, you know, people going to like what I'm playing? Are people not going to like it? Am I going to get completely the wrong vibe? And at the end of the day, if you're there and it's with other members of your community,
you don't care.
It doesn't really matter anymore, does it? You know.
Yeah, I mean, the Swindon one you did a couple of weeks ago, I turned up on me in. So, but I knew that, you know, you were there, Sam, Fade, Matt Baylor, so yeah, and Tommy T, obviously.
Yeah.
Were there, so I know them, all of you anyway. So, yeah, I think it is knowing that they're all there and they're there for you and they know what your situation is, so they know, and it's quite a big deal. But it does help a lot.
Yeah. And how have you found the streaming? Because again, I think a little while ago you were sort of struggling a bit with it. You know, you're sort of worrying about, you know, a bit of lack of self-confidence and worrying about things. And you know, how's that sort of gone?
It's trying to. I think you worry that. I think for me, it's about acceptance, isn't it? I don't think, or in my head, acceptance is quite a big thing for me. And when I'm on the decks, I'm always trying to play as if it's my last time, because I don't know when the other opportunities are going to come up.
Right.
I mean, they have been coming up, and like Sam has always said to me in the past, always ride the wave that's ahead of you. So, you know, I did Funk Raiders last weekend and been on the Bandits and done the Kings, and when I look back at actually what I've done, it's quite a lot. So the acceptance thing is a load of rubbish that's just in my head. But I don't know really. It's just weird. If you've got like the only person in your chat is StreamYard when you're playing, it bothers me. But in another effect, it shouldn't bother me because I just do it as a practice session. And if people roll by, they roll by. And like the other night, I did it a couple of weeks ago. And I think I got raided twice. And I was just practicing. So, you know, I think, I don't know if DJ Dog Style there, but I call him DJ Doggy Style.
Yeah. Say that again. Say that again.
There's a DJ called DJ Dog Style.
Oh, right. Okay. I thought you said you were DJing in doggy style.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Yeah, but the funny thing was, is Jay from New Funk Records. He said exactly the same thing Friday night when he came in. Oh my god! But yeah, I don't know really. I was thinking again about packing it all in again. I've had those thoughts in my head again by just giving it all up again. I spoke to John about it, and he thinks I'm mad. I mean, I'm doing radio now, which I enjoy again. So I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's crap that's going on outside of my DJ, and that's really having an effect with what's happening. The effect that's going on outside is affecting what's going on with my DJing, which I'm just trying to think. I'll tell you what, just drop everything.
But it is, isn't it? You know, you can't, like you say, you can't just shut off what's going on in your life. And you know, if you're struggling with anything, you know, as much as you try and shut it off and think, right, I'm now going to do this, it's still there. You know,
It's really weird because I sometimes think. I said to my wife the other day, I said, should we just pack our bags and just go? You know, just leave everything, not leave it as free, but you know, just change, just completely change, move somewhere else, completely different.
Right.
But the thing is, you can't change this.
No, your problems aren't going to go away, are they? That's
the problem in your head.
Yeah.
You cannot take. I can't. If I could take my head like Wurzel Gummidge and change it, I would.
To anyone who's from outside the UK who might not get that joke, it's an old. I don't know what was it. 70. It was 70s, wasn't it? Wurzel Gummidge. But yeah, he's a scarecrow who came to life and got up to things. But yeah, no, exactly. But you're right, though, aren't you? You know, you could move to another city, another country, you know, another continent, but it's just not. It's not going to solve your problem. You know?
Yeah, because what's going on in your life isn't this. That's just a possession. That can go in the bin.
Yeah.
You know, you can throw that in the bin, never see it again. It doesn't really matter. This, you can't do that.
Yeah, exactly. Sam's making the point that the guy played. I can't remember his name actually. Now the guy who played Wurzel Gummidge also played Dr. Q.
Singly Pertwee.
That's right. Yeah.
John Pertwee.
There you go.
Sam Tweaks has got the theme tune on 45. Now there's
of course he has. Of course he has.
I think Sam Tweaks has got every theme tune going on 45.
Yeah.
Okay. And Mr. Lobb's making a good point. You know, even after 20 years of doing gigs, he still struggles to get booked at times. And yeah, I'm just going to say hello to your good wife, Lady Pitsy. She played, I caught probably the second half of her set earlier today, and big up Lady Pitsy.
It was wet, Lady Pitsy. It was wicked.
Yeah, it's good. I think the good thing about this raid event is we've had, we had 45 kids show this morning. We had Minimal P. We've had 45 Queens. We've had 45 Kings. You know, it's everyone's got involved. You know, even though we're sort of trying to raise awareness of men's mental health. You know, everyone sort of got involved to sort of do that. Graham, so you've started doing Afternoon Delights with Mark Lancaster. And that's in a way to sort of, as I understand it, something regular. Because obviously, if you've got something to look forward to on a regular basis every week, it helps you. But talk about that. Why you set up Afternoon Delights. How does it help you?
Well, this sort of is a beauty of the whole 45 Kings collective group, and the whole Twitch side of it is that I've struck up a really, really like I have with you two. I've also struck up a really, really good bond with Mark Lancaster, and we both are not are unable to do what we really want to be doing at the moment due to our health. So we were just talking and saying, sometimes I jump on the decks and just play tunes, and he was like, so do I. So we were like, well, let's maybe do something. And then he came up with the idea of the name Afternoon Delights, which I thought was just perfect. And then we spoke to Rob and said, we know you do Hump Day.
Yeah.
We're doing this. So originally we were going to do two till 4. But then Rob obviously, so we're now doing 1 till 4.
Yeah.
I couldn't do last week, but it was great. Mark still contributed anyway, and it's just really nice. And the same thing with I'm also doing 12-inch Tuesdays with Matt Love and Adrian Finch. It's just really nice to, it's like you said, once you've gone through that horrendous journey, if you're not a tech head, of getting it all set up, once it's there, just being able to just come in and basically press a button and then play some records and connect with other people has just been so beneficial. Certainly.
It takes all the stress out of it, doesn't it? Once you're set up and once you know that you can just hit start streaming and then go. And then the thing I find is, whether you're on a raid train or whether you're just jumping on or whatever, there'll always be someone, even if there's like 5 people or 10 people or whatever it is, there'll always be someone. And as soon as you start playing and then you get the comments and people say hi and, you have some sort of, rapport and conversation going, it brings you up, it definitely,
definitely.
And it's and when we talked before, I think Paul, didn't we? I think on maybe the first show, which we worked out was now some time ago, sort of almost a year ago. And at that point, I think there was discussion about, you worry if there's only a few people, a few viewers. But I imagine that probably doesn't matter anymore.
No, I don't look at that anymore. The only thing that I get, the only thing I do, so that's the patio door. It's coming down. Don't worry about it. It's a builder's thing.
As long as it's not you, that's fine.
No, it's not me. No, it's not me.
You sure, Paul?
It's not my legs. I know I'm old. I ain't that old. What were we saying? I can't remember. We lost the conversation now.
I think we said last time you were worried about viewers and if there's only a few people watching and that. But I don't get the impression that really makes much difference anymore.
No, I think to be honest with you, I was chatting to Fade about it a while ago, and I can't remember who asked now, but I think that Mark Brand said that he turns his chat monitor off. He doesn't want to see how many numbers are on there, so he does that. Yeah. And for me, like Fade said, just do it as a practice session. Well, that's what I do.
Yeah.
I'll jump on and play, and if anybody jumps in, there's a bonus. If not, I'll just go and raid someone else.
Yeah.
That's
good. I mean, that's definitely moved on a lot since when we spoke back in May.
Yeah, the only thing that I will say, it's still something I need to get over is when the chat stops. That is a real, because I think when you're playing a record and to you that you think it's it's a banging tune, it's going to get a lot of response. Because you've got a lot of effort into a set, and then there's nothing. You think, hang on a minute.
It's difficult, isn't it? Because I think we all just assume, but I think we all just assume that everyone's just sat there constantly watching what you're doing. But people aren't, because obviously I know how I can't sit 8 hours in front of Twitch. I'll sort of pop in, hear something, I'll go and do something, or I'll pop out and whatever. So you've got people watching and listening. But not everyone's at the keyboard or at their phone able to sort of say,
John,
or anything like that.
He used it as a radio, didn't he? So he'll use it. He'll have it on in the background and hear people playing. So for me, a lot of, like you said yesterday, wasn't it? You had, was it 80 people in chat, but only 10 people talking. So they're obviously got it on in the background and they're listening. So
that's certainly how I do it. Is that I'm a lurker.
Yeah,
and I'll try to jump in every now and again because I know from doing it, from streaming myself, that it can be quite soul destroying when you don't see any action in the chat.
It is, isn't it? It does get you like that. Yeah,
but I am a lurker, man, and and that's great as well. And Simon and Nick, today we were talking about that, the fact that we'll just have it on like coffee and donuts it's like that's just a regular Saturday morning now. It'll be on, pottering in the kitchen, or now as the weather hopefully is getting a bit better, sitting out or doing a bit of gardening with it on, and hopefully remembering to jump in the chat to motivate the DJ that you're.
Yeah, well, I think what was it you were saying today? You were saying you were in deep lurk mode.
Yeah, I wasn't very deep lurk mode today.
How much deeper than
that constituted being in bed.
Well, I do that on a Saturday morning when I have to try and get up for coffee and donuts, and Mark Lancaster or Funky Flavors are on at 8 o'clock. But as Rob says, maybe we should be called the 45 Lurkers Collective.
Oh no!
Wow. And as Waxwork says, don't you get arrested for deep lurking?
Always, Matt, always.
I think it's as long as it's Mr. Lob used to. Yeah.
Mr. Lob used to.
Well, Mr. Lob was commenting about some of his past in the last show, but we won't go into that again on this show.
No, let's not go there.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I know exactly what you say about the chat. It is strange because it's going along, and you've got people chatting, and then like all of a sudden it does just stop, and you're like, okay, have I played a bad song? Do I need to change it up? Do I need to do something else? And I think I've just found just keep going. It really doesn't matter. Keep going. Play your next track. Play your next track after that. Maybe like both of you do it quite well. Say, shout out to the chat or shout out to the lurkers or whatever. And then the chat will come back. Someone will say something, or it'll be time to raid out or whatever. So like you're saying, I think as Rob mentioned it, you're doing it for you.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And
I do have a theory on this, though. I do think a lot of it has to do with age.
Okay. Well, do you want to explain that? Tell us about what age has to do with it.
From a point of view of how much you interact with social media. Okay. So if you're younger and you're used to that type of interaction, then you're probably going to listen and be involved in the chat. Whereas for me, I'm of a generation that I'm having to learn how to understand the vocabulary of social media. I've not been brought up with it as part of my. Do you know what I mean?
Hey mate, when we were young, we only had 3 channels.
What was that, Paul?
I said when we were kids, we only had 3 TV channels, mate.
Yeah, exactly. And to lick the fucking pavements and everything, did you?
Yeah, was it like a stick and a stone? Isn't that about what?
Yeah, do you know what I mean, man? We didn't even fire.
You know what? We used to get shut down as well in the afternoon. TV.
You used to get what?
Shut down.
And as Mark Lancaster said, we used to have to stand up to change channels.
We did.
That's right. Yeah,
we did.
I mean, Mark's a couple of years older than me. I think we probably had that.
Mark's very old.
Mr. Lobb's got a good question. Does Scotland have TV now?
No. I'm not.
And here we go. Waxworks. They're all coming in now. Try watching snooker in black and white.
It's great fun.
Snooker.
In black and white.
Yeah.
Can
you remember when the TV remotes came out with the wires? Remember them?
TV remotes with the wires, and then no.
Yeah, you need to pull it out and put.
No. They used to come. You used to plug it in the Betamax video recorder and have like a 50-foot long lead.
No,
Betamax. Now you're talking like crazy language, aren't you?
VHS then, the VHS one.
Here we go. The Beatles have just split up in Scotland.
Have they?
And there you go. Mark Lancaster, he had one of those. Oh, well, I mean, if this isn't lifting people's spirits, I don't know what it is, you know.
Oh my God.
But
Oh,
I think you make a very good point, because I think the youngsters now, the world, I'm talking like I'm a really old man, but the youngsters, obviously, with social media, they expect, you know, a like or a response or interaction.
It's part of their language.
It's part of their
their
psyche as well.
everyday language.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Whereas
for us, it's like
stuff
learning
going,
a new
and
language.
like you say, we don't just expect a response. You know, you send a message. Okay, it's nice to get a response soon, but you know, if you don't get a response for 20 minutes, half an hour, whatever, we're like, oh yeah, they're obviously busy, they're doing something else or whatever. And they do that. I assume you're drinking wine, aren't you?
Oh yes.
He's on the bloody wine.
Paul, your wife's getting in here now with the jokes. You can see Paul's school photo in a cave painting.
Oh, really? Where?
Where? What? Yeah, wave at me.
But yeah, so the kids have obviously got a very different speed of doing things, just because of the way they've been brought up, and because the youngsters, I'm talking, I don't know, 15, 18, 20-year-olds, you know, they've always had mobile phones and they've been brought up with it, you know, whereas we didn't have them. We've lived through this, in one sense, amazing period where we know what it's like before the internet, before mobile phones, before technology, and obviously we've now got, you know, what we've got, so we can sort of appreciate it from both ends. But yeah, but that I think you're right. It does make difference for the fact that we're older, that, you know, you're not constantly on there making a comment just for the sake of it. You know, you're going to make a comment because you mean something, you like the record, or, you know, what is this record, or well done, DJ, or whatever it is. So that's fine.
I still count my records on an abacus, mate. I don't use a calculator.
Must be a big abacus by now, Double P.
Yeah.
I'm amazed you've been buying recently.
I'm amazed you're still able to fit in your house, Paul.
I cannot. All this, there's 45s, and they're down there as well. I don't know if I can move that. Can you see that down? Hang on, there. That's full of 45s as well, and then you've got all that. I've got to bring that in. I got them there. They're everywhere, mate. Everywhere.
It's an addiction. I mean, yeah. I mean, I've got them all over the floor. From like, I've done a set and then I plonked them on the floor, and then, you know, the next set and then the next set. It just, yeah, it's a terrible. It's a good, but it is an addiction. And
it's a good,
you know, well, I mean, it's created this, and, you know, if it wasn't for 45, we wouldn't be talking here. We wouldn't be doing that. And yeah, he's coming out with all the jokes tonight. Waxworks got a vinyl floor. Underwear drawer for Mr. Lob. But yeah, I mean, it is strange, you know, if it wasn't for 45s and us all sort of being into them, you know, we wouldn't be having these conversations, we wouldn't be doing the streams. Hey, Minimal P.
Hey James.
Right.
Everyone's taking over your stream again, Double P.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good man.
Is he off out?
No, he's just come back.
Yeah. Is he got a gig?
Nice.
He's off down the pub.
He's waiting to do a gig.
Yeah, he's got an in real life gig. Has he gone to his gig?
Yeah,
he's gone to his gig, mate. Yeah, he's gone to his gig.
We've got Scotty Boy in the chat now. Scotty Boy.
Scotty Boy.
Mark Lancaster was telling us that you're probably the oldest of the 45 Kings.
Yeah. I'm going to move my phone because I'm going to
that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing. Okay, let's talk about let's talk about the stream then. You know, so how did you find it today? You know, it must have been great having your wife and also your son playing on the stream. Like, what's it been like being able to get them involved?
Yeah, brilliant, mate. Hang on, I'm just putting my phone on charge. I'm not trying to move it so it doesn't cut out. Hang on, mate. Bloody hell, this is a joke.
Oh, this is exciting television now.
Yeah.
No, I'm moving. I'll load it.
Whoa.
Yeah, good, mate. Good. Very
Yeah,
good.
so tell us about that. So how did your wife get involved? And obviously we know Minimal P got involved with the 45 kids. You know, how did your wife get involved, Mrs. Pitsy?
She just jumped on the decks. And then I said, "Oh, can I get on the 45 Queens?" I'm like, "Yeah, right." Then. So I chatted to Rob, I think, or yourself, got her on.
Yeah.
And then now that every time the postman comes for a 45, I think it's for me. Oh no.
So is she buying? Is she buying them as well?
Oh yeah.
Oh, the addiction is spreading.
And James.
Okay. But I guess she's buying. The good thing is she's buying different records to what you're playing.
Yeah, and some of them are better. So I've tried nick them.
Right.
She's not in the chat list. I can say what I want.
So you're just stealing records from each other. So Minimal P's taking records from you. You're taking them from your wife.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at least it's all staying in the family. You know, that's the main thing.
Right, that's what his phone now. So it's going to do that.
Let me go over here while you're sorting that phone out. Right, if anyone's not sure what we're doing, because obviously phones are all over the place, we are doing part of my journey, and we're talking about mental health and various other things, and we are raising money and awareness for the campaign against living miserably. So this is Calm, and this 3-day raid event has been part of that. And obviously the link's in the chat if you'd like to donate. And big up to all the DJs who've taken part. You know, there's been so many DJs who've taken part across the world. And thank you for giving up your time to sort of do this. So we're going to move on to the next part of the show, which is 345s that lift the spirits. I think my guests have got some lined up. I'm not sure.
You're going to start with Paul.
I'm going to start with Paul. Okay. I think Paul said he's just going to pick out any 3 from his collection.
Yeah, I'm going to do likewise, but I'm sure he's got at least one.
Have you got 3 45s that belong to you, rather than your wife?
You're going to have to have me lopsided, but that's the best I'm going to get it.
That'll do.
So the first one, if you can see it, on the lopsided camera, that one.
Yeah, that's good. That's a classic.
Nice. That one I think DJ Chrome played on one of the streams. So I'm shazamming like crazy.
Yeah.
And I got this. I think I paid like 14 quid for it. But what a track!
Well, yeah, I mean, Roll MC and Tenorfly. You know, you can't go wrong with those 2.
Then you've got
you've become a reggae man.
I know. That's because of him in the chat below you.
No, it's not my fault.
Yes.
I got really annoyed actually, not with Criztoz, because we did a reggae set last Sunday, I think it was, and I ordered some records, a load of reggae, and I did buy a lot of reggae on 45 specifically for that set. Anyway, excuse me. So the postman came. Normally, takes a day to come. So I'm thinking, okay, I forgot to put the order in. I'll put it in today. It'll be a Saturday morning. Oh, great. No. Paul Sitter's 45's turned up. I'm thinking, because she goes, you got a pass? I'm like, yeah, that'll be my Juno one. And don't get me wrong, I wasn't disappointed in Paul Sitter's 45s, but I was disappointed because it was my Juno reggae. So I had to play some reggae that I've probably played about 3 times before, because I don't want to go down that rabbit hole, which I'd already gone down.
But okay, let's pause there for a second. And I get this a little bit on Twitch. It's like, oh, I've already played that song, or people have heard it before, and all the rest of it. And it doesn't matter, does it? At the end of the day, if the song's good, it doesn't matter if they've heard it before.
But for me, right, this is, I don't know if anybody else agrees with me with it. I always get a buzz from playing new music.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I agree with you. Yeah,
you got to be careful with that, though.
Well, otherwise, you're just going to be buying records.
Yeah, exactly.
You're going to listen to the records you bought yesterday if you're playing the records you're buying today, are you?
I've still got 45s I haven't even played yet.
Well, yeah, I mean, we all have. Yeah. I've got some over there, but and Mr. Locke, you don't play the same set every time. That's just that's not the case. Here we go. He just uses
Anyway.
different 45s and wax them. But yeah, no, I know what you mean about playing new records, but you know, if we're spending quite a lot of money on records now. So if you think, you know, if you're spending anywhere between 10 and 15 quid for a 45, you should try and get your money's worth out of it. You know, so not just play it once or twice, but you know,
rinse it, selector.
My wife's in the chat. I buy all my records from the charity shop.
Okay, that's good. That's what she thinks.
That's what you tell the wife.
Yeah.
What, the charity shops start delivering from Juno now,
Yeah.
do they?
Yeah.
Yeah, they pack it up. The same packaging as well, and give you a receipt as well from it.
I don't think your wife believes you. I don't think your wife believes you.
No. Anyway.
Well, she certainly knows
no,
the
that's Criztoz. Did you not know that's Criztoz, though?
That one.
Oh, on 7?
Yeah.
Oh,
that is good.
That is it. Oh, yeah. I'm very. I don't have that. Yeah. I didn't even know that was on 7.
That was 45.
This one.
Fucking hell.
I bought that off a bulk buy from eBay, and I think I got. I mean, when John Musler came around to have a look at what I actually bought, he could not believe I only paid £8.50 for the whole stack, and that was in it.
Oh, yeah, brilliant. What a job.
Before we carry on, we've got a couple of comments from the chat.
Oh, yeah.
Mark Lancaster played Klaus Wunderlich today.
He did.
Nobody's done that before. I'm sure they haven't. And Mr. Lob's got a question. Do charity shops do your hair also?
I do my own hair. My wife cuts it for me.
Do you know what?
I think the secret's out because Lady Pitsy saying no, I don't. I'm assuming she doesn't believe that they're all from the charity shop.
I don't know. Does she not believe that? Where she know.
Waxworks saying, did the council do your hair?
Who said that?
Waxworks.
Nah.
Yeah. No.
All right, we're on to number 3.
Right. So this one, my wife got this actually for Valentine's Day, which is Evelyn King, Shame.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
And then on the B side, King. But yeah, there's 3. I mean, I've got a hell of a lot more, but yeah, they're the ones I pulled out today. But that the 3 are the finest.
Paul, you're getting rinsed here, I'm afraid, because 45 inches saying when's the second sitting?
Got to get my hair finished. You can bloody talk.
Oh, and yeah, Sky Boy saying this is more like Morecambe and Wise gone wrong. Well, I mean, the point of all this is we're sitting there, we're having a laugh with our mates at the end of the day, and you know, we can't all be in the pub or you know in the same room together, but at least we can be on here and we can all have a laugh, and we know it's you know all from a good place and a good heart. And as 45 says, he's allowed to say that as he's bold,
yeah,
bald, but yeah. And Lob saying, "WeeG, you look pretty in orange."
Where's he gone anyway? He disappeared again.
Has he gone to look? Are you topping up your wine?
I bet he is.
No, I am not.
Right. I'll jump in with my 3 then. Well, great. Unless you're ready, Graham. Are you ready?
No, you go.
I'll jump in with my. So I've gone for some theme tune 45s because they bring back sort of memories of sort of childhood and sort of then teenagers and all the rest of it. So the first one, you definitely have heard me play this. I don't know if you can see that. Is maybe not.
Back a wee bit. Back up.
Chips.
Theme from what?
Chips, the motorcycle cop.
Oh yeah.
Californian Highway Patrol Service.
Yeah.
Service, something like that.
Yeah.
But the reason I do that is because Paul, you're always talking about your motorbikes.
Yeah.
And obviously we know what your wife does, so I thought that was quite a good little link between the two.
Mm-hmm.
What does your wife do, Paul?
She rides motorbikes. So we are making an assumption now that the charity shop secret is out that he's still going to have a wife after the charity shop.
Yeah, she's 5 Where's he? Is he back yet?
He's still laughing at your last show. I'm going to move on to my next one. So,
oh my God!
A classic quote from this next one. It was just one more question, and this comes in a cool, like Japanese sleeve.
Oh, Columbo.
Mr. Columbo.
Columbo. Oh my God.
Yeah, but I think it says mystery movie theme, but I think it's actually the theme from mystery movie themes on one side, and then the other side is the Ironside theme.
Oh yes.
But I just love these Japanese sleeves.
Yeah.
They're so cool. You know?
Yeah.
So that's that one. And my last one, which is another show that I used to absolutely love, and I think broke a certain star, is this one. I don't know if you can see that. Maybe not. It's too bright. Al Jarreau and Moonlighting.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes, great program. Bruce Willis.
I mean that show is great. Obviously Bruce Willis, Sybil Shepherd. You know.
Did you know he did an album?
Yeah, there's I think I've got a Porter 45 actually. Where there's some sort of jazz 45
he's actually got, in my view, he's got a pretty good version of Under the Boardwalk.
Yeah, he has. Yeah, I used to be a big fan of that. But yeah, right. And yeah, Chris Wheatley's saying that she did a jazz LP. Right, if you can keep it together, Graham, can we have your three 45s?
First one.
Ah, yes. Well,
Oh.
Hold on though. What version's that? Dandy Livingstone.
Yeah.
Ah, is that so? That's a different version to the because the Specials did one, didn't they?
This is the original, as far as I know.
Yeah, I think that is the original.
So the Specials did the cover of it, and this man, just watching anytime, any place, anywhere.
Yeah,
I'll be moving whatever parts of my body I'm able to at the time to this. Next one is, and I'm being a bit cheeky because it's both sides of this are just so brilliant. Aaron Neville, and then his brother Cyril Neville so Cyril's doing Gossip, and Aaron is doing Hercules and Jazzman.
Ooh.
That's a good release.
Oh, there
you go.
Right a bit, just a bit.
In this day of an age of expensive 45s, that's what we want, a double-sided banger.
That's it.
Yeah, and you know that again is what's so brilliant about like reissue labels like Mr. Bongo, Athens and North, Jazzman, etc. They do two different tunes on each side, so you're getting your money worth, man. From and my last one,
and then it's just like £7.50 to £10 a side. Then
and you're going to play it enough times to you know. And my last one is Joa Donato era, Mr. Bongo.
Yeah,
just such a lovely tune. Oh shit!
There we go.
It just dropped off.
Just dropped
Double
off.
P, when you have your conversation with your wife later about all your records coming from Juno, just explain that obviously there's two sides, and obviously you're getting lots of good value from having both of them.
Yeah, always do.
Take it easy, Mr. Rob. We will see you soon. I know it's probably pretty early.
Yeah, thanks, Rob.
Great to see you. Right, so we'll move on to the last section. I know you might have some sweets, Graham. I think you might have some sweets.
I've eaten mine.
You've eaten them already. What were you going to have before you ate them all?
I had Kit Kat Dark 70% chocolate bar.
Oh,
Big boy leak.
that sounds nice.
Yeah. Good for
Sounds nice.
you.
Yeah.
Oh,
Iron
yeah.
Brew Chews. Have you got any Iron Brew Chews?
I can't do the Iron Brew Chews, but you know, Matt, if you need some, I can. My brother-in-law works for Iron Brew, so I can.
I've never ever seen so much Iron Brew in Tesco's in Glasgow, in Greenock.
Yeah, man. Well, you know,
How
it's
awful.
Iron Brew and tenants. That's it. That's what we live on.
Yeah. And he couldn't resist before he had to go. He had to get the violet crumble.
He did, didn't he?
Oh,
What a memory, though. What a memory.
He was on the show with you and Mr. Log.
Yeah,
we had a debate about violet crumble, and also about crunchies.
Yeah. Kudos, Rob.
Yeah, that was a fun show. And as Waxwork says, Iron Brew is like water in Bonnie, Scotland. Yeah.
They changed the recipe though, which is a bit cheeky.
Oh, better or worse?
Worse, but supposedly they are going back to the original recipe as a special limited edition again pretty soon. I
think didn't Coca-Cola do that? Didn't they? Coca-Cola changed the recipe and then they ended up going back to the real Coke or something like that. I think if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Exactly, man. Exactly.
Yeah, that's a very good thing. Waxwork says they took the cocaine out. Okay.
Yeah,
is that what it was?
They did have cocaine in it. Yeah, he's right.
I thought it was ketamine, but there we go.
Ketamine. Just say nay.
Right. Oh, it's just falling apart tonight. Scotty Boy, who is from Scotland, says he's never drunk it. It's not nice. And we've got cheesecake, violet crumble rocks.
Scotland. He's from Edinburgh.
And he is from Edinburgh. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a different. Edinburgh's a different entity to the whole of Scotland.
Okay, all right. Is that a debate for another day?
Yeah, probably.
Talking of Edinburgh, I'm going to be up in Edinburgh on the 1st and 2nd of April. And you're going to come and join us on the Friday night on the 1st of April at Superico, and we're going to DJ with Scotty Boy. And then on the 2nd, we've got Nick Goodlife and also Joey Jones are going to come. So that's going to be an interesting weekend. So if you're in the Edinburgh area that weekend, come and see us. It's going to be fun.
And I'm
Paul,
probably going to try and pop through on the Saturday as well.
Okay,
if I can.
cool.
Coming up in July.
Yeah, and then we've also got July 29th to the 31st of July, which that's going to be a bit of a bigger event. We've got quite a lot of people DJing at that one. Right, Paul, did you get the memo? Have you got any sweets or not?
No, I didn't. Sorry, I forgot.
No worries. That's all right. That's all right.
I can do 3 more.
Do 3 more. All right. Let me show some sweets, and then we'll do some more records. So these ones, they didn't make it to the show because I love them so much, and you don't actually get many in the packet. But these Swedish fish, and they're like chewy sweets.
Swedish fish.
Yeah, they're just, I don't know, they've just got a really interesting, nice texture. I like chewy sweets.
Are they like gummies?
And as you see, I think I only bought them the other day, and they're gone.
Are they like gummy bears, or are they harder than that?
It's a bit chewier than gummy bears.
Okay.
Yeah, and then these, I'm sure most of us have had these at some point, but these seem to be a special edition. Is Nerds, and these are Dungeons and Dragons Candy Rainbow, and I've had to keep some of these for my daughter, so I'm not allowed to eat all of those. But yeah,
that looks like high octane sugar, man.
You should have seen her this morning on the 45 Kids show.
I did.
She was having sweets, and I forgot how many she'd had. By the end of it, she'd had the whole packet. But yeah, Scotty Boy saying he'd be rubbish at this bit as he doesn't eat sweets. Well, we had when Mark Brand came on, he brought some things that he makes because he doesn't eat sugar, or he tries to avoid sugar as much as possible. And he made things like banana bread with like rice flour and stuff, because he's a chef.
Oh,
So,
nice.
Nice. You know, so, yeah, Scotty boy, maybe you could bring some beer, because we also had Jamie Kimber, who brought on some craft beers, and was talking about those. But it looks like Scotty's going to bring some gin, which is fine.
Oh, yes.
Yes, I like gin as well, so I'm sure we'll have a few gins.
Listen, Criztoz, the gins in Scotland are amazing.
Oh.
And I'm not being biased. Honestly, there's great gin.
I'm sure. Right, Double P's found something.
Whoa!
You found an Iron Brew.
It's not spelled right.
Woolies. Iron Brew Tubar. Where have you found that from?
No, what you giving me?
That's plagiarism right there.
Yeah.
That's an Iron Brew.
No. Yeah. But the Iron Brew's spelt wrong. The Willie is from the comic.
Okay.
Oh, it's
so Willie is a like a comic strip that's in the Sunday Post.
Okay. All right.
It's actually Dublin.
Right, we're starting a new debate here. We've got a new debate starting now, because 45 Finch says, is the Scottish gin better than the Cornish gin?
I don't know. I've never had Cornish gin, and I look forward to trying some with him when I see him.
I think it sounds like a blind taste test when we go down to Cornwall.
Yeah, I'm up for that.
I'm me.
It does sound like that. I don't get this comment from Scotty Boy. Sits on a bucket.
Yeah.
So is that the character?
Willie sits in a bucket, and he's got a whole family called the Bruins, who there's another cartoon strip about as well.
Yeah.
And they're all based in Dundee, which is the Thompson and Thompson, who are the media company that own the. Yeah. Okay, there you go.
Made in Dublin.
Made in Dublin.
Made in Dublin. Fuck off.
No. Honestly.
They can't even make it in Scotland. Mark Lancaster said he had a Beefeater gin once. And 45. Here we go. Let's see if we can try this one. Tarquin's voted the best gin in the San Francisco Gin Awards. Just saying.
All right. Okay. Is that a Cornish one, Adrian?
It sounds like it. Yeah. So, well, we have digressed a bit, but it's been a lot of fun. I've spoken to Jadzia Dex, who's on next, and she's going to go live in about 7 or 8 minutes time.
Probably wise.
It might be wise. Yeah, I think we might want to draw a line under this, but it's been a lot of fun. Before we go, Double P, as you didn't have any sweets other than the Scottish one that's made in Ireland, have you got any other records you want to show us?
Yeah. Hang on.
I know you haven't got many in your collection, but let's pick out another couple, and then we'll get the raid going.
Hang on. Where are they? Gone. On my stream yesterday. I don't know where they've gone. Hang on. I think I might have lost them. No.
Is that your hair that's on the top of that thing?
What? I'm trying to find the set I did yesterday.
What? Rummage through that Juno back catalogue, 45 feet, or the charity shop. The charity. What is that, Paul? What is that above your?
So yeah.
Right. If you move back a little bit.
Yeah.
Right. Turn and face the camera. Move back a little bit.
Yeah.
Move across a bit. Move across. Right. Back a little bit. And then, go to your right. Go to your right a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Move to your right.
What?
Just move to your right.
There you go. Stop.
That's it. A little bit more.
This is a joke.
Sorry, Paul.
What are you doing anyway? Never mind.
No, it's like
it looks like tobacco. It looks like a sort of.
Yeah, tobacco?
Yeah.
Is it tobacco? What is it?
Yeah. Is it tobacco?
What's Chewbacca? Up
Right,
there.
it looked like your hair.
No, oh yeah.
I said 3, not 30.
No. So I'm going to pick 3 out of this lot I played yesterday. Ridiculous.
Well, I hope we've given everyone a bit of a laugh tonight. You know, we started off and we did talk about some serious matters to start with, but you know, we've all had
shit.
Is that
sometimes you just need a laugh.
So this one,
yeah, that's a good one. Yeah,
Sam saw that one for me. That's an absolute killer track. Been after it for ages, and he got it. We went to Swindon, so that's that one.
Yeah.
And then this one, this arrived. Apologies about the record sleeve because they taped it to a box, and where I'd undone it.
Was that cool, mate?
With the label as well.
Whoa, that's no good.
Oh, it's a
Kelly Finnegan track.
Yeah.
On there.
Taped it to a box. That's no good.
They taped it to the box internal, and they taped. And when I took the tape off, it completely ripped it. So it plays all right. So I'm not really worried. And then this one came yesterday, which I played, "Busting Loose" by Chuck Brown.
Yeah,
nice. Yeah,
such a killer track. So they're 3 absolute bangers. So they're in my play out stash whenever I play out again. But yeah.
So I'm gonna have a look and see if Jadzia is going to be live in a second, hopefully, or if someone else can let me know. It's been great. Thank you for coming on the show again. You know,
thank you for the invite.
It's not quite what I imagined was going to happen tonight, but it's been a lot of fun.
From one extreme to the complete opposite. It's been great.
Yeah. I might offer a Valium. I might need one after this.
Hey, Criztoz, this is us being well behaved.
Yeah.
T2 Funk is just been in the chat, which is cool, and I will be talking to T2 Funk on Tuesday night as part of All Back to Mine. So I'm looking forward to that. Nice. That's going to be a good show. We're going to be talking about his releases on Regulate Recordings, gigs that he's been playing at. Because again, he's had some interesting gigs for a little while, and then talking about some other stuff. And then tomorrow night, I hope you can join us. It's the first anniversary of 45 Funksters. We've got a big lineup for that, and then we're back to Coffee and Donuts next week, and then it all just rolls and just carries on. But as we were saying before, you know, it's good to have these things to look forward to keep us going.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind jumping back on Coffee and Donuts again. I love doing that.
Yeah. I'll message you.
Me too as well.
Yeah. Well, let's get both of you on. Let's look at a date in April and get both of you on as the guests. There you go.
It's my birthday. When's my birthday? The 4th of April. It's a Monday this year. 4th of April.
Yeah. I'll have a look at the diary and I'll message you guys later on. Let me just make sure if Jadzia is live before we stream out. And she's the last one on the show tonight on the stream. And remember, we're doing this for a campaign against living miserably. The QR code's there. The link is in the chat if anyone wants to sort of donate. I think there's been some donations overnight, so thank you to everyone who's done that. Yeah, look, they're all coming out. 45 Finch, yeah, let's get 45 Finch on as well. Cool. Jadzia's live, so let me set the raid. Anyone else like to come on Coffee and Donuts? I am looking for guests. So you know, if anyone else is in the chat who would like to come on and hasn't been on before or hasn't been on for a while, then
Scotty boy.
Scotty boy, yeah.
Scotty boy. We need to get him set up though.
Scotty boy. I'm hoping when I go up in April.
You're going to do that when you're up in April.
I'm hoping we're going to get that sorted out. Okay. We've got T2 Funk's going to come on. 45 Finch. Yeah. I will message you all. Don't worry. And then so hopefully assuming he's all set up to go, when I go up to Edinburgh in April, it may be myself and Scotty doing part of Coffee and Donuts from his. So that'll be on the 2nd of April if we can get it going. And then maybe Ace of Raids as well, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, so the raid's set. Thank you, both of you, for coming along. It's been good. And yeah, Lady Pitsy, let's get you a minimal P as well. Yeah. Thank you, all of you, for being here. Thank you for tuning in. I know it's a Sunday night. I know there's loads of other stuff going on. But I hope you've all had a bit of a laugh, and you know we did talk about some important stuff at the beginning. So if you missed that, then definitely go and watch that back. But like we said, it's good to laugh, and it's good that we've got this community where we can all just be open and honest and talk about what we want.
Yeah, that's right.
So, right, we're going to raid out. If you guys hang on there for a minute, we'll have a quick chat afterwards. But we're going to go and see Jadzia Dex, the last DJ on this stream. So show us some love when we get there. And yeah, see you all soon.